Good morning, y'all. I'm coming with a review for the second episode of P Valley, and I'm really excited. Like, I'm trying to get this out early and before I get moving with my day and keep this under 12. So, the thing I meant to mention before, herringbones everywhere. The director, Katori Hill, writer, very astute. Or I looked her up. She's out of Memphis, Tennessee, so she gets that Memphis slash Mississippi border area because a lot of them go to the boats. Yeah, it's the boats when it's officially casinos. The dialect is still cracking. No one broke because you can hear it sometimes in different movies or different series. People come in with one sound on one episode and then they fix it the next episode or try and strengthen it. I don't know. But they open up with throw that ass in a circle. Hey, at the car wash. For whatever reason, Uncle Clifford thought this car wash was really going to bring in money. I'm like, how many cars do y'all have? And it's not Kankakee, that's Illinois. It's Kasasuchi, Kasahili. I'm sorry, Mississippi has like Georgia and some parts of Louisiana, Tennessee, most of America I would accept because I'm sure it's Wisconsin, Minnesota as well. Indigenous cities are named after, or areas named after the indigenous tribes or something to that effect. Like Baton Rouge, literally the capital of Louisiana, is in English the actual indigenous name for the area because of, we got a lot of red clay mud. But back to the P Valley. I like this one. It gave us a little more backstory about the characters, and the characters who really showed up and did something was we saw Redbone, so Autumn Night, has trauma. And I figured she came from Houston through that flood time. What was that, 2016? Or maybe 2017 when Joel Osteen wouldn't let people into the church while the city flooded. And it just, when it finally showed up, it really touched me because I mean she did some really good acting, but I know individuals who survived Katrina. So post Katrina, you had children and adults who had trauma towards water, meaning if it rained, they had if it rained, they were not settled. They would get anxious. They would get nervous. They would manifest it in their body movement and their complaints. They wouldn't act out as strong as she did. And I'm not saying act out like it's a negative thing. I mean, like, that's how you knew, okay, whoa, you know what? This is all connected. But they didn't try and exit the house or get somewhere safely. However, there are those who I've been told through even other friends and family, taking a bath became an issue for years. And look, after all of that and dealing with those FEMA trailers, help us all. I'm glad they showed it because I think it doesn't get enough discussion in any communities. It's just like, oh, well, you survived. Congratulations. Keep moving. And it's like, but you don't know what people had to do to survive. You don't know what people saw in their survival. And you don't realize, like, the lasting impact of, again, what does trauma look like? And that's trauma, folks. It's like taking an egg and putting that crack in it, in the shell. It may still be holding together, but how long and how well? Some of that egg oozes out. At any rate, Corbin is now a new introduction. We have two brothers who were born by marriage. The father cheated with the maid in the house and had his mulatto mixed child. Yes, we're going to bring that word towards the table. This is Louisiana, Mississippi region, or let's just say in principle. Sorry, y'all. I am truly babysitting, and Bear is doing the most again. So, Uncle Clifford looking like Frida Kahlo walking around and riding a box Chevy just touched my heart. I was like, yes, indeed, for Bubbles Night or Day, however this was named for the theme dancing. It was too cute. Little Murda coming to the back to, again, promote his CD. I love the fact that how did Uncle Clifford not notice that peanut head in his box Chevy? Come on, y'all. It's a box Chevy. The windows are huge and you see everything. But whatever. I also understood Uncle Clifford may have been stressing so hard trying to pay this refinancing bill not to lose his club. That when he opened up the visor to get the CD, or again, Little Murda make it his business. It's like, okay, clearly Little Murda has decided this is the recipe. like we hear from Future and other friends that, hey, if I get the strippers to dance to my music in the club, it will pop in the streets and the streets will beg for it. Then everyone else has no option but listen, play it, or buy it. Simple as that. So that's how you promote yourself. I don't get, but y'all let me know what's going on with, is this just girls, Queen Bee picking on somebody? They're still questioning Redbone changing in the stalls. Why is she in the stalls changing? Um, I do enjoy that they keep covering, like with the new introduction of the three boys, the three sons. Two are willing to sell daddy's property so they can make way for a casino. Told y'all, I knew it. You can always tell when the property buy-in is coming and when it's coming from an outsource at a large conglomerate or bigger numbers than what the local area is used to seeing. So a casino in that area, a casino in any of our areas, it usually means big money and it means we're going to make some money supposedly, but look, we've had casinos long enough that I can tell you the staff does make a decent wage that they otherwise may not receive if they just left high school and went and got a job someplace else in town. You know, like Uncle Clifford said, working the Railway at Marshall's or working at the shoe store. That ain't happening. But I'm 6 minutes in, so let me keep pushing. And excuse the noise. Again, Bear has made his way around and is irking me all day long. Mercedes running through the neighborhood took me home, seeing how the buildings are made. You know, I was like, oh yeah, they really are shooting on scene. If it's not Mississippi, it is definitely Tennessee or Arkansas. Yeah, West Memphis is basically Arkansas. Now see, she's buying a building to expand her coaching and dancing. Kudos. She saved her money, she stacked it up, and from what it looks like, when she told the girls, everybody was super excited so they're not out in the parking lot being objectified by men. Men driving by commenting on these little kids and the stripper and their shapes. We could talk about that until the cows come home. Yeah, I said until the cows come home. Like, the question, what was your earliest memory of a male gazing at you or overtly making moves on you as a child, as an adult? What age were you? Or the earliest memory do you have? Sister Patrice Woodbridge seemed to have been irked during the first episode. Like the pastor, when she was singing to praise and asked for people to make donations, or like a tithing song, the pastor seemed so disgusted and upset. But now in this episode, he's making moves on her, playing into her feminine wiles of, and her ego. He was playing her, and she came off looking like Charity from Greenleaf. Like she wanted to do anything to be in the pulpit preaching. And he made sure to offer, your daughter makes the next tithing donation so this church can get its loan because the bank doesn't see enough money from us. Then, you know, I could be looking at putting you in the pulpit on a Sunday. I would to hear you really preach instead of singing for a tithing song. And baby, when I tell you she got so excited. Whereas the other women, or this woman who called her, okay, Sister Woodbridge, we're ready for you. Or like, Patrice, we ready for you. And she's like, Sister Woodbridge. I'm like, oh, okay, what's going on here? Who's sleeping with the pastor? And who's jealous somebody's not sleeping with the pastor? That's how I saw it. Y'all let me know if you can interpret it differently, because I would love to actually hear what is going on here. I was too tickled when I noticed Isaiah Washington is playing the mayor. Honey, he was rocking that little tracksuit and those gold fronts. I think his entire bottom row was done. So I was super excited about that. I'm going to get this production part together at some point. Maybe after the bar. But excuse my phone. I already talked about the PTSD, how kids had it. But here's the concern. When Autumn did that flashback and after she danced for the attorney, Esquire, Andre, did she get to lose her child to the man she's hiding from? Or, because she called, you know, we had a hotline call, just like after Katrina, but you call the feds to identify who's where, if their bodies have been found, what's going on, something like that. And so when she went to the payphone, because Uncle Clifford was demanding, you coming in here with an ID? Everybody files is independent. We don't do tax fraud around here. And and I'm okay with him being I-9 compliant. He's right. The concern becomes she had three different IDs to go between. One was officially declared dead, so she trashed it. The other one, Lakeisha Savage, whom she's staying with, she's running as a like tax shell court. And I'm like, okay, that's the conversation we're having now. We're able to also see that she's able to get in places where Mercedes, the OG, is not. Yes, Mercedes can read the room. I wish I had such skills. However, when someone likes you, the room that reading doesn't count. And that's what Mercedes was able to identify when Autumn Night went into the room with the bastard child, Corbin, I believe is his name, and Esquire Andre, so attorney Andre. And like she said, when it's one man, he's here to spend money. When it's two men together, they're here to have a business meeting. Let them do their business. And she danced the entire time, listening very hard. Andre brought up some solid points that I would love to hear more in our community being discussed, which is, I'm not willing to sell the land that our family has, or give up my ownership for a price, even if it is $6 million. I'd rather lease it so I can have. And what he didn't say is payments in perpetuity. Let's get some money for as long as I live, my grandkids live, my great grandkids live. It's generational wealth. But he did bring up a very valid point that we don't hear much about, or at least often from men, is like being owed something. Like you're a part of something, but you're not a part of it, or you're not embraced, or you don't really get the benefit of what your surname, namesake, or family connections are until someone dies, or until someone has some adverse reaction to something. We've seen it the other way too. When someone's near death, then they bring you into the fold. And that's what he was. He had to be the secret in town. Clearly it wasn't a well-kept secret because everybody seemed to have known. I like that Keyshawn also goes by our stage name Mississippi. Says, ooh, a waste of all that light skin. Ooh, ooh. If I tell you, I'm like, okay, let me go look up this director-writer, because some of this is just some things I would never think to hear on TV, let alone in a national conversation, because it's been said. Oh my word, it's been said so many times in my life. But another day, another time, you'll see. And I tell people all the time, I grew up in the deep South, 80s, 90s being the darky. So let's talk about that another day. But colorism, not in the conversation realm that is held in like the YouTube, on network, the national TV. I mean, let's have it in that raw and dirty, that real grimy, that dirty South conversation, please. Because it can wear on you, and it gets old. And it's always a matter of like, you have something to prove, even though you shouldn't. So I did love Cliff's heels and fatigues at the club. It was super cute. I hate that he had to break down, but I'm glad Mercedes acts and needs 55,000. So maybe Mercedes is putting her 20 stacks on his 55,000 stack need. But I don't understand how he thought a car wash was going to really bring them out of it. But maybe he was just trying to sell hope and convince himself. I enjoyed Little Murda jumping to the kitchen after the cook left for not getting paid. And Clifford lied about that, saying, oh, he want a raise and I ain't got no raise money. Little Murda was like, no, you need to sear those wings. But when Little Murda went on his little funny riff, it was hilarious. Oh, yeah, your wings giving the strippers, yeah, they make everybody gassy. My boy said the stripper farted in his lap last week. Oh, I was like, wait a minute. Why are y'all still showing up for a stripper to be farting in your lap? Hey, but you know what? People have predilections. And that's the thing I do like that they show with Corbin. There's a BDSM scene with him. And his preference is being denied, being shackled, being tied up, being punished, degraded is part of that. Yeah, we got to explore all of that. Different people have different choices. And look, again, those predilections run deep. And clearly he's willing to pay for it, I guess, every first Friday of the month or something. The way his brothers talked about him would discuss. And the way Keyshawn was like, okay, here it is. He coming. At the end of the day, his solid point about selling the land. Andre Watkins. So, Attorney Watkins showed Mercedes, Redbone Autumn Night, a scar down the middle of his chest. Said he was born with his heart outside his chest. And all of that, I noticed that wedding band on their left hand. Anybody else? So, I guess neither one of them cared, but I will say he was packing. Yeah, how do we know? Mercedes. Mercedes got hot at Autumn Night for being his selected one to go into the VIP room or champagne room. At any rate, Autumn Night was like, I didn't sleep with him, I just talked. And this is what he gave me. Uncle Clifford told her, look, you should have paid me less or tried your best to pay me less in front of these girls. Otherwise, you're looking for trouble. And then that's when Autumn Night decided to explain, spill some tea. Well, no, this is what he got because he wouldn't take a payoff from Corbin. Payoff? Wait, yeah, because the casino's coming. And then she realized Uncle Clifford has no idea what's going on. Oh, I knew. I just didn't know all this. I didn't know when. I was like, oh, Lord, everybody got to be up on something. So anyway, Uncle Clifford was like, look, you ain't Lakeisha Savage. And he vetted her by this simple issue. Ooh, your birthday coming up. You're a Scorpio. What kind of cake you like? She screamed, chocolate. Your birthday in May. You ain't no Scorpio. Look, y'all, I don't know horoscopes by no means. But I know, I only know mine. I maybe know one, like Gemini is next to me and Aries is ahead of me. The end. But I said, baby, folks take it so seriously. They will scope you out. And hey, if that's what it is, that's fine. He understood the hustle, held her license for hostage, and was like, when you give me some more information as to what's going on, I'll get you this back. And look, use either set of lips you like, but give me some information. Bring me the tea. I like it hot. Okay, Uncle Clifford. I understand we gotta do what we gotta do, but this has ran longer than 15 minutes, and I really was trying to stay on task, and I don't edit. Y'all know I'm horrible. You gotta appreciate people in media. You really gotta adore YouTubers who have figured this out, and there are greater people than me. Look, I'm quick to tell you my strengths, but I'm even faster to let you know my challenges and weaknesses, and this is it, and I'm finna sound like an old Southern church mother, so let me wrap it up with, I genuinely hope from the phone sex that your girl Autumn Night had with attorney Andre Esquire. Andre Watkins got off the phone with his wife to chit chat with Autumn Night. So I don't know what kind of clicking they had going on, but he was like, I need to see you. She's like, no, we can stick to the phone. I thought she was playing him and was going to just mock the scene, but she actually got involved, and so did he. And they were pretty explicit. He's a tall, lanky brother, so you do the math. How much packing could he possibly be doing and why? I mean, let's just go with that stereotype. But at the end of the day, he seemed to have enjoyed himself. He wouldn't close the curtains to his bedroom while he did all this, which I thought was a little bit too much. Mercedes called out Autumn Night Place for having newspapers at the window. Yeah, she took her home after she had her traumatic PTSD breakdown. But at the end of the day, he has a brand on his, what is it, left arm? I'm looking. Yep, left arm. And I thought, wait, must be Omega. But I zoomed in myself and was like, wait a minute, that's a 5. So is that iota Phi Theta? I've only seen like 2 iotas ever have a brand. And I didn't remember them being with the 5, but it's been a minute. And I'm not even thinking straight. I'm hungry most times because I'm not eating after 8. I'm trying my best to practice this keto. Yeah, we're going to end up in that conversation. But if nothing else, I still give P-Valley the benefit of it's picking up like all things do. It is an hour long. Do you have an hour? Do you want to spend an hour? Yes. Do you have some complaints and concerns? Let me know. Let's get in the car. I would love to pick this up and hopefully someone sees this somewhere and have a real conversation, because I will jump in the comments. I have more questions than I have answers, and I would love to hear what y'all think about this from, where's Autumn's child and who has her? Cute little girl. What's going on with Mercedes when she finally gets to break from her mother, or won't she break from her mother? I didn't see a preview for next week on this one. I know people are really coming for, that Tyler Perry-esque, Lee Daniel-esque. It's not. It really isn't. It's just a little more homespun. But Miss Katori Hill, look, the girl, I'm sorry, I was going to say the girl. The sister, and I was saying girl for being too familiar. The woman has Juilliard training, Harvard work, Broadway, off-Broadway. She's used to script writing. Apparently, that's her real talent. So now that she's behind the camera, congratulations. That is growth and development, sister. What can one say? Everybody has to start somewhere. Look at my crappy YouTube channel. Everyone has to start somewhere. Like, I'm gonna skip trying to have a thumbnail right here at this point because it still didn't like come out the way I expected yesterday. But at any rate, and I don't want Pixar named everywhere unless Pixar wants to sponsor, then I will find my way. I will take some Pixar classes to figure out, and I will drop their name more than I just did today. But the point is, there's development and growth there. And I'm glad we're having different voices. Like Tyler Perry made it known in that last Netflix. He wrote that script in how many days? They filmed it in how many days? And there was no one else in the room when it came to writing. And everybody whined and complained. Well, here we have someone else. We have new voices coming to the table. And there's no knock from me to Tyler Perry. It's just not. I am glad he's able to achieve what he has. I look forward to his development and including more people. So I understand he has a lot to say. And hey, maybe the great part will be, let me just get Bear. I never liked this. Okay, so this is Bear. Yay! I'm babysitting until the 23rd, hopefully. Child, I'm going to be one of those people on P Valley. If you don't show up for your child, I'm gonna turn it over. No, I'm just joking. Actually, I like the cat more than the owner. But anyway, with that being said, y'all have a good week. We will circle back another Sunday. STARZ has another original coming, and I think I'm gonna check it out. Again, I like STARZ originals. They seem to work.